Happy New Year. You're welcome on today's Your Health Matters program, 58th edition. Wow. So compliments of the season to all my fans, to my friends, to family, and everyone out there. It's actually a new year. It's a new beginning. So on today's program, we are actually going to do a recap. Before we go into that, my name remains Labake, also known as Elizabeth, the anchor of Your Health Matters program. Thank you so much for joining me. In case you've missed some of our topic, so we normally do a recap quickly before we go on to today's show. So last year, we actually treated quite a lot of topics. We did quite a lot of physical intervention, which we are actually not able to share for now. Hopefully, by the grace of God, when the people are okay and they're on their feet, they will be coming on the program to share their experience. But I'll take you quickly through the topic we treated last year. So the first topic we treated last year was obesity. That was actually taken by Dr. Ogunshiye, and we talked about obesity, about it actually means carrying excessive weight around one's body. So the problem is, who can then decide, or how can we identify to say somebody is actually overweight? So we actually are able, we talked about looking at the BMI, which is actually the body mass index, to actually get a rough idea of what the expectation of the body weight should be. So we treated about that they actually rough normal BMI should be from 18 to 25. And that is actually when you're actually comparing when you're dividing the weight of the person in kilometers and the height meter square of individual, so you get the BMI. So normal BMI should be from 18 to 25. However, when you get 25 to 29, it's considered to be overweight. So 25 to 29 is considered to be overweight, and anything above 30, between 30 to 39 is actually 30 to 39 is actually considered to be obese. So anybody BMI that is actually from 30 to 39.9 is considered, or 40 and above is actually obese. So 18 to 25 is actually normal range. So anything from 25 to 29 is considered overweight. So from 30 to 39.9 is obese. And anything above 40, any BMI above 40 is actually severely obese. So however, the speaker acknowledges that some people may have a big bone, so which may actually impact on the weight, the body index weight. So the conclusion for that topic was, if you're actually having extra body and it's beginning to affect your physical health, you have high cholesterol, you're having issue around palpitation, you're not able to breathe properly, then you should. Hello everybody. Sorry, I just realized they actually have been talking and is muted. So I'm going to start again. My name remains Labake, also known as Elizabeth, the anchor of Your Health Matters program. Welcome on the 50th edition of Your Health Matters program. So on today's topic, we are saying we are going to be doing a bit of recap of what we've done last year before we go into the new beginning. So I was actually saying the first topic we treated last year was obesity. So, and obesity, we actually don't have a defined way of saying somebody is obese. However, there is a rough way to measure yourself. So when we are talking about somebody carrying excessive skin, we are conscious about the fact that some people have big bones, which we impart on the weights. So where is actually the BMI, which is actually the body mass index, is actually when you're actually dividing the weight of the person in kilometers and the height meter square. So when you want to measure your BMI, so you look at your height in kilometers and divide it by the height. So the height, and you divide it by the weight. So the individual speaker said the normal range for BMI is 18 to 25. However, when your BMI is within 25 to 29, is actually overweight. So any BMI from 30 to 29.9 is referred to as being obese. So anything above 40 is actually severely obese. Bear in mind, we actually acknowledge the fact that some people have big bone. So for you to know if you're obese is that if the weight you're carrying is beginning to interfere with your health. So you're beginning to have like a high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or if you're walking, you're not, you know, the way you walk a little, you're feeling restless, then you need to consider reducing your weight. So sometimes people might actually not look big, but when you have a big bone and it's beginning to interfere in your day-to-day activities, then you need to consider losing weight. And we talked about eating healthy eating, exercise, and hopefully you can control it with your diet. And if it's actually really, really severely obese, you need to be speaking to your doctor. So we actually proceeded after that to sharing experience. After that, we actually did sharing experience whereby I have a beautiful victim of domestic violence who was bold enough to actually come and share her experience of how she went through a lot within 22, 23 years, and how she was able to decide and choose her life, over what the society would say. And I remember during that program, we talked about a lot of people, which eventually they did. A lot of people, we actually criticize you if you stay in an abusive relationship, marriage, or any friendship, and at the end of the day, you lose your life. People will talk, they will insult you, split in your grave, that, oh, why did you leave? Why did you stay? Why did you die? Why did you allow that to happen? And bear in mind, when you leave, the society will still nail you. They will still condemn you. You will be labeled to say, oh, they don't want to stay in marriage. They can't be submissive, And unfortunately, in the society where we see ourselves, the women get the most blamed. And we acknowledge the fact that domestic violence is not only for women alone. We men do experience domestic violence, and we actually encourage people to say, you know what, when it's not safe, when you think you either a man, either a woman, if you think you're going to lose your life, walk. So that was actually on the reflective sharing experience that we talked about. Then the next topic was reflective parents. How did we come about this reflective parent? It was as a result of this video that was trending on social media. That's one of the Nigerian teenage girl was involved in a murder case. And what we did actually was we actually spoke to our children. So when we're saying children, we didn't speak to younger children. We spoke to teenagers as well. So I'm talking about 18, 20, and above. Obviously, they still are kids, for some of people that have children at early stage. And we spoke to the younger ones as well to say, if you have the opportunity to say anything to your parents in 1 minute, what will it be? And it was alarming what our children were saying to us, because when the video came online, I was thinking, is it because she's a black girl? She's been actually why are they harassing her? And I was so looking forward to hear we're sorry, and the police apologizing to say we're sorry, it's a mix-up. But until where we got to the stage whereby the young lady was saying no comments, no comments, especially when there was a proof. Actually, there was a CCTV in that place that the individual was. So, and we actually say to our parents ourselves to say, parents, no matter how busy you are, no matter how, whatever you think you're doing, because we always have this slogan, oh, we're doing it for our children, it's because of them. So whatever you think you're doing that you think is because of your children, you need to still find time to be their friend. You need to find time to be their friend. You need to understand that the most important thing is actually ensuring that at the end of the day, we have time for the children. So that was actually about the parents. And we actually moved on to, we discussed another physical topic, metabolic syndrome. On that show, I have a GP who is also a neuroscientist on the show. And the doctor was very, very, very good in terms of the way he explains what we mean by metabolic syndromes. He went and actually broke it down in a way that people will understand in a layman language. And he said that there are combinations of 5 illnesses. However, if you have 3 of these illnesses, you will be diagnosed of metabolic syndrome. And he said these 5 illnesses are when you have diabetic, when you have high blood pressure, and you have kidney issue and disease, you have a partial stroke or symptoms of stroke coming up, or liver, or you even at some point had stroke in the past, or liver disease. So he went ahead and talked about how can we not overfeed, or how can we support ourselves, how can we ensure we actually, especially it actually looked into the diet, that we, the black minorities, normally. So if you want the video, if you go on your Etimatis page, you can get the detail of that information. So we actually then treated bullying, one of my favorites. We had the opportunity to have a teacher who is actually a saint. So somebody who's actually worked with people, kids with special needs. And she's actually a teacher in secondary school. She used to be a faith leader. She was a staff governor. She's working different type of school, whatever higher position you could think of. So, and she actually defined bullying as she actually said it's diverse, actually, because it's not, you can't define bullying in a structured way. It's not pinpointed in a certain way. However, she defined it as an action, a repeated action, that is actually, but generally, so he said it has to be a repeated action, and that takes place repeatedly, and that makes another individual uncomfortable. So whatever will be defined as bullying must not be a one-off occasion. It must be a repeated action, and it could be a threat. So some people might think it could be a threat. She said it could be a rumors being spread against you. It could be something that is causing another isolation. Anything. It could be verbal. It could be physical. That anything that makes the other person, uncomfortable, it's unkind, it's unpleasant, and it's done repeatedly, is bullying. And she went really, really in depth in terms of those people that kind of joke around people, and they call it whining, and those are some of these people. They kind of use this passive aggression in terms of the way they make other people feel, and she she actually concluded and said any jokes, any gesture that make another uncomfortable repeatedly is actually bullying, can be defined as bullying, and is actually punishable under the law. And it's actually not just in UK, in Nigeria, wherever, So because bear in mind, before the individual will feel a certain way, is actually done repeatedly. And we then went further and treated prostate cancer. I don't like that one, actually. It was on request. Anything cancer, I don't really like that name. So we had a GP as well. And the GP was so good as well. He actually defined it and broke it down in a layman's language and said, he actually talked about cancer is actually the development of cancerous cell. And he said prostate can be found in men. He said it is the base of the bladder. It's found in the base of the bladder, a walnut. And sometimes he described it like can be like a golf ball size. He said he helps in producing some of the fluid we call semen that comes within the sperm. And when men ejaculate, and that's why it's only found in men. As he said, as individual are growing, these individual cells are growing. So, and unfortunately, there is no, so far so good. They do manage it. They, even with all the current treatment, there is still no permanent cure, unfortunately. So with this cancer, if you really are struggling, or you're thinking, or you're feeling anything between, especially men, between those identified space, I would recommend, there is no harm in checking, and the one thing that people that I've seen that they've been doing is that they don't check, because, and I understand, because obviously people will like, oh, the moment you have that diagnosis, you're dead from that day, and people started, and I understand that part. But from the other angle, if we look at it from the other angle to say, if they detect it on time, they might be able to find cure, but if it's actually not detected, on time, at the end of the day, is spread around the body, what do you think will happen? So, at the end of the day, we need to ensure, if you think you have any symptoms, that you actually do a check around it, and you do a check around it, and get the right treatment. So last year, we did quite a lot of intervention. When I said intervention, I meant like, phone calls, people talking about current situation they were going through. And obviously, like I used to say to people, this kind of thing we do here, it's not like the other thing other people do on the Facebook, that whereby you can just talk about people without their consent. Consent has to be gained, signed, give them time to think about it. If they want to have a change, discuss with, if they have a husband or wife or children, and as soon as that is done and they're ready, then we can bring and share. So we're not in that stage yet. We dealt with ongoing quite a lot of different, from immigration to domestic violence to, quite a lot of intervention that is still ongoing. And hopefully when they're okay, they will come and talk about it. So welcome once again to year 2024. Good to see you. I hope everyone is feeling okay. So on today is new beginning. So new beginning, obviously without literally telling you what that is, you know it's a new start. We're talking about something new. But obviously, before you start something new, there must be a old way of doing something. So if you want to talk about new beginning, today's topic is all about it's a new year, it's January, and it runs so quickly, you know. I didn't even know like tomorrow is actually ending to the month is ending tomorrow. Actually, you know, it goes like that. Like it was just like yesterday we said Happy New Year, and today is 30th already. So when we're talking about new beginning, we're talking about a certain old way, looking, having a flashback, reflecting on ways you're doing things. If you're actually reading for an exam, and say for instance you normally start reading 2 weeks to your exam, and with all the hard work, with everything you've done, you end up having 50 or 40 or 45, which is 40 is a pass mark. When you have 50, we're talking about C. So if and what you're aiming is A or B, then you did everything within that 2 weeks, you know. It's actually all you find yourself is having is still C. So then you've done it for years, and at the end of the day, you know, even then you increase the length of the study to 3 weeks. Maybe even start reading a month before the exam. And at the end of the day, you still end up in C. Then this topic is saying that's actually just an analogy, you know. New beginning. It's time for you to take a look and sit back and think, okay, I used to read 2 weeks before the exam. I increased it to 3 weeks. I still didn't get a result. I was still getting B, C rather, 50, 51, 52. I even extended it to a month. I still got C. So what can I do different? So we are saying you need to leave the old way of doing things and take a new leave. And it's never too late. So just maybe, you know, some people, as soon as they go to class, they play, they're not listening. But when it's a week or 2 weeks to the exam, they read, they're getting A. They're that brilliant. They're able to absorb and assimilate and just, you know, pass the exam. But you know yourself that you need to do extra work, you know. So that's why you can't compare yourself. And that's the way life is. Because we're different in our various unique ways. So if you then look and say, okay, what about every time they teach me this topic, rather than waiting for the time of exam, or a month to the exam, or 2 months to the exam, let me just come back, at least allocate 20 minutes, 30 minutes daily, or 20 minutes to read every day. Or let's say it's not achievable that way, 3 times a week. Yeah, minimum. 3 times a week. So that you, by the time the exam comes, you will have been fully equipped, prepared. You're not just reading to pass. Because something that you started reading about, you know, aside from somebody having a bit of needs, which could be learning disability, because obviously we know people with diagnosis of learning disability or with dyslexia, obviously might have a bit of issue assimilating or understanding thing. So like I said, that's actually a scenario placed about exam. So the new beginning is that it's a new year. Looking at everything happen around our society and environment, you can see the rate of kidnapping is so rampant, even broad daylight. You can see the rates of abuse has just continued to increase. And I was watching a video recently, I think yesterday, on the social media, and a woman was crying for help. This woman was crying for help and saying she caught her husband doing You can't even talk about what she said. I don't even want to. She saw the husband doing something with their child. So this child is their child. It's not like a step child. And this is actually a learned person. I'm not talking about people who are probably, obviously there's no, we're not looking down anybody. But obviously we're talking about, there are some people, when you see some certain people, the way they talk, the way the environments they expose, what they're exposed to will determine the way they talk, the way they do things. So we're talking about this woman, the way she dressed, she's actually a learned person, professional. And she was talking, she came and cried to say she saw the husband using his finger in the baby, not baby, under 5, private part. And she said, what was that? And the husband have the nerves to say, that was my way to put our child to bed. This woman was saying within herself, then she was asking herself that initially she was thinking, is she exaggerating, or did she not, or maybe he didn't understood that. He was saying, you can't touch that part. That is a no. And he was justifying to say, what do you mean? I'm just putting the baby to bed. Putting the baby to bed, you're not patting the baby here. You're putting your hand in the private part. And this individual is so traumatized. Before somebody will bring up a phone and come on the social space, media space, to say, I am losing it. Trust me, they must have tried family intervention. They must have tried a lot of things sometimes. Don't get me wrong, we have a lot of dramas on the social media. Some people, you think, why are they here? Because, and I keep saying, no stigma or label to the men. It's both ways. In my profession, I've seen women, actually, they've done worst to men. So different. And that's why we need to be very careful, especially these days. Especially you, people that always inherit other people's enemy without finding out and getting to understand what is actually happening. So this individual came out to say, my husband did this to my child. I am losing it. And he doesn't even understand or sees anything wrong. And do you know, some people showed empathy. Wow, that must be really traumatizing for you. Please, get the police involved. Some are saying get the family involved. And some people are saying, oh, why will you bring such a thing to the social media space? Do you think, some people were condemning the woman. And it's both ways. There are a lot of men, hardly will you see men crying out for help. Because the way our system, our culture is structured, men are supposed to be strong. Men, don't get me wrong, there are some men that are really violent, but it's both ways. That's the point I'm making. And going back to new beginning, before people will bring their issue to social media space, they must have weighed the consequences that they know they will be labeled, insult, a lot of insult will be flying. And at the end of the day, some people will, it's not everybody that is actually, not in the right frame of mind. Some people will look through, critically look at the situation, and they will judge right or support rightly. Because bear in mind, those other people, in their sense, in their mind, they thought that was the right things to say. I want to believe that. So, new beginning is actually looking at the old way of doing things that you've tried 2023 and it did not work. So sit back this year and look at another way. If you've been looking, or a child is not listening to you, or you've been doing is shouting as a parent, and the child continues to be so, rebellious, and the child is not listening at all. And you've been shouting for 10 or 15 years. And I think what I'm saying is sit back and try a new way. You're never too old to start over. every day is a chance to make a change. I'm getting this quote actually from a book I read. So you're never too old to start over, you know. Every day is a new chance to make changes to create life we want. Everything begins at the beginning. And quite often, at the beginning begins when you shift your mind in the new direction. And that's where we're going. Shift your mind to the new direction. This new slogan that it's going on social media, no gree for anybody, you know. And I think if you look at it in a way, though it could be used in a violent space, but if you look at it in your own way to say, I want to shift to the right direction. I'm just going to do what is right before me and God, and for myself, for my children, for my wife, for my husband. This year, ignores whatever noise, whatever people, because if you do the right thing, some people will look at it, emulate it, you become a model, and they move on. If you do the wrong thing, some people will look at it, emulate it, and you mislead them. So shift your frame of mind in the right position. So on this episode, we want people, to call in. You might share your thoughts with us. How do we start a new beginning? How do we start right? How do we start right? Tips. You might give us tips, on how you think people can start right. The number to call, can one of the admin put the number on the social media? So the number to call is actually, somebody should put the number on the social media, is actually the studio number. Can one of the admin please put the studio number online? So the number to call is actually 079 353 18757. So I repeat, 079 353 18757. You may actually give us a tip in what was not working for you, and you change a new direction, and you don't have to go into details, or just an idea of the idea of how you used to do something. It could be an idea. And please, we're not teaching anybody how to parent their child. We're not teaching anybody how to live their life. You're entitled. You're all an adult, and they have capacity to make a decision, whether wise or unwise. So, except you're not fit, then obviously people will step in if there is need for that. So, but what we're saying is that it's a new dawn, it's a new year. Let us shift and model. Be a good role model, not just for yourself, not just for your children. You understand? Not just for friends, but for the whole society. And we are coming into this state now where normal is not accepted anymore, where abnormal is actually normal in our society. And it's alarming, because if you look at 5-10 years back, there's this trend of course, I'm this. You could see a lot of people now coming out, Society is open. People are allowed to express how they feel, gender-wise, sexuality, So you have to be careful who looks up to you. And you that are looking up to people, you have to be careful what you're looking up to. Because reality, we all know. The funniest thing, when I see some teenagers that will say, stop confusing our children, and I'm thinking, in the first place, no children should be emulating anybody on the social media. No offense to anybody, No, because at the end of the day, they're not going to be held accountable for your mistakes. So you should have a certain way of life, a culture, a religion, if none, you don't believe in any, or whatever ways of life you believe in, and you will be responsible for whatever you do. So the line again is 079-353-18757. So it's a recap. Normally we don't really open the line, but obviously it's a new beginning. We can call in to express how, okay, there are some missed calls in here. What's happening to the phone? So you can call the 9. I think we missed the call just now. The caller can actually call back. So you can actually share with us. It's a new beginning. It's a recap. If you actually miss any of the recap we went through, if you go on your It's Matters page, you will see the video. So while we're waiting for the calls to come in, what we normally do at the beginning of the year, we show appreciation. So this is an avenue for us to say a big thank you to all our fans out there, all our viewers, all the people. There are some certain people that as soon as we are live, they are live. They will share the video, they will comment, and there are quite a lot of people that they don't come online. They will send inbox messages, because they're dealing with life reality. And we know the society where we are. As soon as you see anybody online puts the problem out there, the label follows. Sometimes, though it's been improving now in terms of awareness about mental health, but trust me, the labels, the stigma is still there. And a lot of people kind of get support or kind of support privately. So I'm saying thank you for all your support. July last year, we actually did 5 years anniversary, and whereby we actually celebrated all the doctors, all the general practitioners, the GP, psychologists, and even we didn't stop at the people imparting knowledge. We acknowledge those people that are always on the program as well, that share their experience. They actually share their experience and join online and actually do bits and pieces with them. So this is actually to say a big thank you to all the admin. They're doing a good job on that platform. Sometimes weeks I'm not even on that platform. We celebrate people on their birthdays just once each month, and we have a lot of people on the admin that actually ensure the platform when things that are actually not acceptable are actually posted, so that we don't get the platform pulled down by the Facebook, because they are strict guidelines to follow these days. So they ensure the spams are taken out, they approve any post. And that was why, because a lot of people were just posting things that are not health related, and the admin will take the time to look and see and approve posts, in as much as you're not coming to sell. Some people will put information about, say, kidney, and then underneath you'll be seeing link to buy a medication. And I cannot allow that on the platform, because if anybody buys anything from you and you don't post it to them, and then they pay you, or maybe you even posted it, there's a side effect. So I don't want to be dragged into things like that, because there's no time. So, and that's why, because individuals have emailed me to say, oh, we actually are, even if you're certified, I just don't want to be involved. So if you want to, it's okay. If you want to post any health topics or tips, we accept that, But when you're beginning to bargain sell that will involve transactional monetary, if it's any quotes or tips or, information, it's okay. But when you're actually transacting, it's not acceptable on the platform, because You see, there's no time, and I don't want to be involved in a situation where somebody is actually paying for something they're not getting, or they're getting something. Just yesterday, a woman came on social media, and she was crying furiously. I don't know if one of you saw the video. She said, actually, it's so funny. She said it was the husband. I don't know. The husband introduced her to organic cream. She said the husband complained that the face is not smooth enough. And the husband now said she should buy organic skin. Originally is really good. And the husband introduced, I don't know how a man will have a link for organic products, introduced the woman to the woman. The husband introduced the wife to a woman selling organic products. The woman was told to put the organic products and go to bed overnight. She explained that while she was sleeping, that it became itchy, and she was scratching her face. And by the time she woke up, it wasn't like the face has actually burnt alone. It's got red, really reddish, like like a red, a red, like when you have like a hot water split in the face. It was really bad. And as soon as she woke up, sometimes some people do things for content. I'm aware. So sometimes it's not everything that will believe on Facebook. So this woman claimed that she woke up and the husband has run away from the house. So a lot of people were saying maybe the organic products seller is your husband's side chick. A lot of people were commenting, even making jests. So we got a call on the phone, on the line. Hello, you're welcome on today's 58th edition of Your Health Matters program.
Hello, good evening, Happy New Year, Happy New Month, and yeah. Firstly, I would like to appreciate you. Thank you for the knowledge, for the guest, for imparting good advice, and for sharing all this wonderful information and skills with us. Really appreciate you. I truly, truly appreciate your time, because I am very much aware that you're not being paid. You're doing it out of your own willingness, your own zeal, your own just to empower every individual, those you can see and those you can't even see far off. That's why you're sharing this knowledge, you're imparting your knowledge and sharing this wonderful skills with us. Really, really, really appreciate that. And yeah, so if this month or this year, my focus would be to take more time for myself. Because one, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and I think sometimes work, I tend to focus my energy on my family, my husband, my children, my work, and then don't have enough time for myself. And then when I get back home, I'm stressing at the husband, shouting at the children. And this year, I'm going to try. It doesn't necessarily have to be a lot, but I'm going to try to focus at least maybe once every 2 weeks. Just take a break for myself. Just take a break. Maybe go swimming. I want to go back to swimming because I do enjoy it, and just to relax and do something for myself. So that's my motivation this year, and I hope it will continue. And then with that, because that's one of my mental well-being, to develop my mental well-being and not be stressed. And then hopefully the children can see me as, oh, mom is a fun mom again, not that stressful mom. So yeah, that's what I would like to share. But yeah, thank you so much, as I said, and I appreciate you. And yeah, good luck to 10 more years ahead. It's just the beginning. More years. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was actually a very good plan, and I think we mothers, and in fact, let's not take all the glory. We have some dedicated fathers that actually, when we do school runs, where we take our children for football, we see them, and I think it's actually a fair plan at a new beginning to say, I want to actually look after myself, and I that's not to say you're not going to be looking after your husband, your wife, or your children, And I think it's good to have a me time, which I do as well. Take yourself up. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be expensive. And if you look online, there are so many cheap getaway holiday over the weekend, or, just in your house, have a me time that the kids will know from this time, except it's life threatening. Except it's life threatening. If there's no blood, there is nothing. I don't want to be this low, And look after yourself. I think if you look after yourself as a parent, mom, dad, you will be able to then, you know, look after those children. And I think the caller stated a very valid point to say, I don't want to be that stressful mom. And we are stressed. We are stressed. By the time you go to work, and the way, I don't know where you're watching from, I don't know where you are, if you're not careful, you just realize that your life is routine. Let's pick this call, we'll come back. Hello, you're welcome on 50th edition of your Matters program.
Hello. Hi. Once again, thank you for, going through all the topics we've done last year. I've got to say it's been really good for me as a person. I just want to share the things that I would like to do in this new year, what I'd call my own new beginnings. So I think personally, I'm gonna be focusing on my relationships with people, friends, families, and mostly my relationship with myself when it comes to my mental health. Last year has been quite rocky um, for me, for my mental health, going through a bit of anxiety and almost slipping into the depression. But by the grace of God, I'm quite excited because your program helped. And also, getting in contact with IAPS through your links and things on the program. I just want to say I'm looking forward to this new year and the different topic you're going to be exploring. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for sharing. Thank you so much. That's actually good. Wow, that's actually good. And that's actually the real topic, the aim of the topic, to support people because there is the support there. But sometimes when you're down, you might, I don't know if you find yourself in a situation whereby you're so tired and down and really low in mood, whereby you're hungry, you're supposed to do ABC, but you're just not able to do them. And I think when you see people who are actually almost slipping into depression, coming to say, you know what, thank you, it's actually enough. It's actually enough for me. So, and I think that's why we said, you know what, you might share, you might even put it on the platform because I can see a lot of people putting on the Facebook, and sending email, you understand. So if you still want to call, the number is 079 353 and 18757. So all we are saying is take a new tone. Whatever you've been doing last year that did not work, or you think you're almost there, and from January to December you didn't actually approach it with a new way. Change your style, be positive. Obviously, like we have different religion, whatever you think you believe, surround yourself with positive people. Very important. Very important. Somebody was saying recently on the social media that can you fans be nice to the celebrity, because these people are human, and some people come on this space. This is their network. Some people don't have family support network. They come on the social media space to unwind their stress. That's why you see some people every weekend they're going to parties because that is a coping skills for them. Some people that don't like going to party, they hang out. And it does go a very long way. It helps actually. If you have positive friends, real friends, not party friends, not friends that actually aim to benefit. They're there because of what they want to take from you. And as soon as everything is gone sour, they're back, and you're on your own. I'm talking about people who have your back. It doesn't have to be financially. It could be through word of encouragement, somebody checking on your well-being, and then somebody just listening to you when you're tired. You just want to vent. You want to, you just have that space, and whatever you're saying is not being recorded. That when when there's a fallout, friends fight, and they fall out sometimes. And it's not those kind of friendship that at the end of the day, there's a fallout. They're playing your audios, they're exposing all your secrets out there in the social media space. So that's why you need to choose wisely, Look at yourself, support yourself, be kind. Women, especially, be kind to yourself this year. It's a new beginning. Look after your mental state. Whatever you think you've done last year and it did not work. We've got a caller. We're going to take this one. Hello, you're welcome onto the 50th edition of your Expertise program.
Hello, thank you for your
Hello?
Sorry, 1 minute, please. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to... Okay, yes, I'm good to go now. Yes, thank you for the beautiful show. It's been really, really... it's been a good refresher to try to get up to do what we like to do. So basically, I want to take you back to the start of the show because someone was asking a question because you were talking about checking on yourself, doing some checks, like physical health checks. Let's take, for example, like the cervical test, or like, let's say the breast cancer screening that you can do on yourself, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the person that was listening to me actually said, I wouldn't bother checking because I have faith that it's impossible for me to have breast cancer. So with faith, because if you are checking something that is not there, it ends up, you end up finding what you're checking, What do you say to people like us that because of our faith that we cannot fall sick, and if you are thinking you fall sick, so you have to start exercising or you have to start pressing your breast to check for lumps, what do you say, mixing, considering religion and physical health together with your mental health?
Oh, thank you so much. And I think I briefly mentioned it earlier on when I was talking about the prostate cancer in terms of, I don't like the name. Nobody likes the name of cancer. We don't pray to have it, but people at the main mention of cancer, it's scary. People need to be truly ready to accept what is coming. And I said just now, like a few minutes ago, if you're able to detect it on time, it's stages. Let's say stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Some people say stage 1, they were quickly able to detect it and they were able to do whatever and it's out. But if you think, I don't want to check because I'm not ready, and I said it just now, like...
So if you're religion, because if you have faith, with faith, you won't be looking for what is not in your body now. Because my pastor said we shouldn't be checking, looking for what is not lost.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So from that religious angle, it's good to have faith, And I think what the pastor is saying, belief is not there. And, faith is actually a substance of what you cannot see, what you're expecting. So you're expecting is not there. But let's talk about reality, in terms of statistic has shown that if you're able to detect whatever on time, there's likely and chances of you surviving, and if you get the right treatment. So let's just hold on. So in terms of faith, your pastor said don't check yet, which is okay, but look at it from another angle to say your believing is not there. So if you check, it will not be there in Jesus' name or in the name of Allah. Amen. Okay? So, but if it's there, and you said, your pastor said do not check, by the time you're then knowing it's gone round the whole body, We all seen people who are actually in the end time, cancer, the pain, and the regrets. I've got some patients that have actually said they knew something was there, but they were just too scared to check. And by the time, if he's not there, thank God. But if he's there, then it will grow to a stage whereby they will feel pain and will then end up checking and knowing. But at that time, it will be too late, except divine intervention, which I'm not saying is possible or not possible, depending on your faith, you know. But I think to be on the safer side,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll go and print it so I can check.
So
Okay.
whenever you're ready, you need to be mentally ready. Whenever you're ready, because at the end of the day, I have had that thought long time ago, and I checked, and it came out nothing was there, and it can't because the fact that that thought is there or not there, you're not able to then take it out. I think that is even more torturing for you to be having the thoughts of what if, what if, what if. I don't know for other people. So, and I think the basic thing we're saying here is that keep your faith is good and listen to your pastor, but it's still okay to check to be on the safer side. So that if there's anything, prayer will mix with medical and it will work.
Okay. Thank you for your time and your patience. And I'll call you privately if I need extra support. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that's actually just a honest person, which we all do. Some people will say, if I remember when we were serving, I was doing the NYC at a time, and I was a member of UNICEF. That's the World Health Organization, and we were assigned to a rural area to go and check if people have HIV. And the result, what we were getting was actually, if they have it, they don't want to know, because the moment they know, that they start dying, which is psychologically okay. And that is why you need to have therapy, be ready mentally, to say, I want to know. Because the advantages of knowing on time is that you will get cure before it spread round. But if, God forbid, is there and you don't want to know, or you're scared to know, or your pastor asks you not to know, it will be too late. And we don't pray for such occurrence. And that is why, until date, there's no reason, to be honest. There's no research that have actually stated this is the reason for cancer. There's a lot of guess, but obviously anything that is actually not proven and by research, it's all fallacy, it's all assumption. So till date, there's still no specific thing that is causing cancer. There's always, it could be just maybe, So there's this thing, and I'm just reflecting on what they call, and I can understand how difficult this must be to say, I don't want to know. Nobody wants to hear bad news. Even the cervical this thing. Do you know why they do this cervical screening every 3 years? So that if there's anything happen with the woman, they could pick it on time. And please, always do your annual checkup. Please book your appointment with your GP. Even in Nigeria, you can walk up to the local. I don't know if they still have this. We used to have this not GP, this clinic. Within the local governments, local government clinic that you can walk in, that those people giving injection, those kind of clinic that general, there's still general hospital, that won't cost you much. Please, whatever you're able to detect on time, you can cure or manage. Some are not curable, but you can manage. People who has some illnesses live 90 in this country. If you're able to know on time, and we don't pray for any cancer, it will not be a portion in Jesus' name. But my advice to that caller is, there must be a reason why the thought is coming. You must have spotted something, and it might not be cancerous. because the way the breast is structured, you have some particles that when you touch, and the best way to do is actually lie down on your bed, flat like this, without no bra, relax, you understand, and do the distance check. Or when you're in the bathroom, you're standing, you can actually do the check. And if you're unsure, just go to the GP and they will send you for a test. Because obviously, if you're beginning to have the doubts in your head, for how long? So on this note, we were doing appreciation before the call up. We're going to round up. And I thank you so much for everybody that called in to share their new beginning, And I want to say thank you to Dignity Media Radio Station, my husband, for all your support over the years. And my beautiful children, Adura and Hayo, for all your support. And a big shout out to Yetunde Ayanfe Oluwa, everybody online, Bokolo Ogun, everybody, my beautiful brother, Alhaji Lukman Densilu, and there are quite a lot of people online. I can't see you, but I know at any time when we come online, Modupe, Mrs. Newborn, Mrs. Pastor Daramola, every time you're always there. And my beautiful professional DBJLOL is actually one of my colleagues. And Adeton, thank you so much, everyone. I just want to say thank you for all your support. Fun Love, Mrs. Ashaye. And I'm looking at everyone online. Ola Ojeneye, thank you so much for all your support over the years, for always sharing, for always joining. If I've missed out your name, please don't be offended. One love. The point and the topic is, let us look, whatever you've done in 2023 that didn't work, make a turn, a positive turn. Surround yourself with positive people. You don't need validation from anybody. In as much as whatever you're doing is not at the detriment of another person's peace, and is actually good for your mental state. Just go on. So till I see you next month, stay cool, look after yourself, do your check, physical health check, not even mental health. Your blood pressure, your BMI, check. If you think, and look, even if you have extra skin, it's okay, work it out. Watch what you eat, the time you eat, the portion, the cholesterol, the amount of palm oil you use for cooking, reduce the junk food you eat, eat healthy. You'll be fine, It will take time, but you'll get there. So till I see you next month, look after yourself. Remember, your health matters. Bye.